your journey after campus until you got to this prominent job in an international company. Tell us your story, please.
Okay, thank you. Um, so I graduated in 2019 from UN. I did civil and construction engineering. Uh, okay, I had made previous connections and networks from the professional bodies I was in. So that's how I got my internship. It was my internship on Fiverr. I actually got it even before I had finished my exams because I had been always active in the professional bodies and they knew me, so that when I asked if they were looking for interns, it was quite easy, I won't lie. So I got my internship for to go to Meru Bypass. I did 6 months and then the project was funding was cut off, so it was taken back to Kura and the RD there was moved to Kakamega on Kakamega Webuye project. And so because I had been doing a good job, he carried me now from Meru Bypass to Kakamega Webuye project where I worked for a year. And during COVID, things were tough. Also, that project money wasn't flowing in, so it was taken back to Kenya. And again, through connections I had made while in campus, I was told of this uh, job. They were looking for graduate engineers for the Nairobi Expressway, and I reached out to uh, a former UN alumna. I told him I'm interested in this job. This is what I've done. This here is my CV. So if you can forward it to your boss, that would be great. And a few days later, they called me, and I started the job. So for me, I I've always wanted to be in highways. For from I was in when I was in third year when I went for my first attachment. It was so amazing. I went to Outer Ring Road project. It was so amazing. Like the first, the thing is, I was so lucky that I had that interest when I was in class. You know, you're pursuing materials, you're pursuing highway engineering. Then I thought to myself, this sounds like something really interesting that I would want to be part of. So I went to Kura. I camped in Kura for a while before because I wanted to get into a project that I would learn the most. And I from the research I did, I realized that Outer Ring Road was doing so many new things in Kenya at that time, and I wanted to do that project. So I went to Kura. I badgered a lot of my lecturers. I did build connections in Kura. I camped in Kura for like a week. And yeah, there I was like, I will be finishing in the next month. So I'm looking for internships. If any one of you, because when you're in professional bodies, the engineers who are resident engineers in different projects. So I just like when you go we have meetings once every second every second every second Tuesday of every month. So when I was and they used to be at 7 a.m. and I was in campus. So I used to wake up 7 by 9 you're supposed to start classes. I go to the meetings and I was very vocal in those meetings. So it was when I told them I was looking for an internship, they literally could remember, oh, this girl, we have been seeing her in these meetings very early in the morning. So that's how I got to go to Meru and then Kakamega and then finally to the express where I'm the assistant engineer. Thank you.
Okay, Vane. It's your story. You got connections, huh? Okay, to Cleopas. What are some of the challenges that you faced as you started Nafia roles? And maybe you highlight to us the lessons that you have learned from the same.
Okay, at first when starting with NFFA, I saw that it was a cost paying to like getting the formal papers from the company, that's one, and then getting to pay for housing council and all that. because it was at a price, and you're starting a business, you don't know how it is gonna work. So I just risked without even the papers. But then later on, I realized that about the Cleopas, like this card used to come to the shop like halfway around 3 or 3, take 500 or 1,000 shillings. And then I realized like in the long run, the amount of money they would have taken by December, that was like the year 2019. Yeah, I know. Yeah, 2019 towards the end. By the time they would have reached December 2019, they would have taken over around 10,000 shillings from me. So I decided like, okay, then it's best I just pay for the whole year. And I thank God when I went there today, they told me I can pay, let's say, from September 2019, then I'll have to renew in September 2020. So instead of December, instead of paying from September to December 2019. So I saw it as a benefit. So whenever you're going to start a business, ensure that you have all the papers, because sometimes the people working as the enforcers of these things, sometimes they take advantage of you, and they might eat up all your capital, and in the end, okay, let's say they come for money every week, but now when they are forced to come again, they come and take your totally everything from you. So you might even end up losing your own stocks or losing the whole business altogether. So I think it's best when you're starting, ensure that you have all the papers that you need. And then secondly, a business is not as okay, because I had already been employed for some time, so I can differentiate in both. I can say the business is a little bit different from employed, since you have to work even 3 or 4 times harder as compared to when you are employed, because everything is on you. But when you're employed, you are given a certain tasks just to do. So when you are done with your tasks, you just have to leave. But now when it's your business, 24/7, you have to think about the business. And automatically remember that you have bills for that business in the end of the month. So you have to have your own targets from monthly. Okay, you have to start from annual targets, then come to, let's say, quarterly targets. And then from those quarterly targets, then you come to monthly targets. Then from monthly targets come to weekly targets, and then from weekly targets come to yearly targets. For you to achieve that end year target, you have to ensure that every day you achieve that particular target in that day of sales. But again, you have to also not you have to be realistic. When you're starting, don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. And that's what I could say generally. And creating connections in line with your business is very, very important the moment you start that business. Sometimes, like what I could say, like having a mentor, sort of. If you cannot have a mentor, then ensure that you have people. They cannot be fully a mentor in a way, but people who are going to be like a support system in that business. Because I can give an example for me. When I knew where the factory is, I went and befriended all the people who could carry those stocks from the factory to Kamkunji or from factory to wherever they were going. So I buy them lunch, buy them breakfast, wherever I need them, I talk to them. So and that's the way I learned. Like, okay, in Kamkunji, this is what they sell. From the factory, this is the price, the quality, the difference in qualities. Because for them, before they are sent, they know exactly all the properties of whatever they are buying or selling or taking to their clients. So in this, that's the way I learned all through. And then in terms of competition, you face very fierce competition more so because there are people already most of the time, unless you have an idea that has not been done, then you might have a competitive advantage. But now, if you are doing something that already other people are doing, because there are those who have stayed there for quite some time, they have very big connections as compared to you. They can be given huge discounts as compared to you. And then when you're starting, sometimes you have low capital. There are those people who have very huge capital. So sometimes together they receive huge discounts as compared to what you receive. So you have to be on your toes all the time. So that's why I could tell anybody who is wishing to start business, just very good terms I can say, and you have a lot of free time dedicated to the business. But when it's not there, you have to consider that you are going to have a lot of stress. So
Nigga,
ensure that you have a gut.
Niara
At the same
Nagaba,
time, you have very huge confidence in yourself,
Sinigami,
and then shock absorbers too, because sometimes opportunities
Nigami,
come up and you have to go and strategize and come up with a plan. So in terms of communication, have a gut, have enough.
Sawa
So
hapo.
in terms of capital, when you want to start a business, stop calculating how much capital you get. Most of the time, what will you get more is even the connections rather than the capital itself. Because most times I used to even use my connections when I was starting to seek even credit and sell rather than waiting for me to achieve that particular capital for me to buy. And at the same time, the connections I gained in terms of getting new clients, you get that because the clients have been referred to you, and sometimes they have been referred by a person who they respect. So with that, at least I was sure that these clients would even send me money for their products before I even go to buy. So I could receive the cash, go to the factory, pay whatever I'm supposed to pay, then remain with the particular profit that I was intending to have. So what I could say, consider more on connections rather than in terms of the capital that you are going to use to set up the business. And then I think from there you can continue.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Cleopas. I'm sure. Thank you for your advice, for enlightening us. I'm sure these guys they have learned something. Yeah, now back to you, Cleopas.
Yes.
What is your take on self-employment, considering you are self-employed and you also worked as an employee? Do you recommend that we should be eager to pursue business, or we just look forward to work under someone?
Okay. Uh,
Okay.
for me, what I could say is that I cannot say which is better than the other. What I think is both can be dependent on one another. If you have a chance to work for someone, please do, and get to know at least and get to know what he does, support him fully on that. That's the only way you can, because most of the time I remember when finishing university and when I'm now starting my business, there was that thing I thought like when you're starting your own business, you just have to do things your own way, there are no rules, you just decide. Okay, fine, there are no rules, but in particular aspects. But there are also rules that you have to follow in a way. So, if you want to start business, ensure that you have your own rules and you are very strict on them. Because most of the time you might need to spend more hours, let's say, at work, and let's say if you are lazy, there's no way you are going to ensure that your business works out. And in terms of employment, I could say employment is good because you learn. You learn a lot actually when you are employed rather than when you are okay. As much as you learn in terms of business, you have a lot of stress during the business before it reaches to that level that you are comfortable. But now, in terms of employment, you know at the end of the month what you're supposed to be paid, and that's all. You know how to spend your money. That is it. So you have a lot to learn, and the environment is very friendly for you to learn a lot as compared to when you are in business. And then when you are in business, remember it's 24/7. Hakuna kupumzika. But when you are in employment, at least you have your time. You can do your own things. But in business, remember, fine, you have that free time. You say like for now, I'm not going to pick anybody call. I just want to rest. Let me time. But immediately come back. Remember everything where you left it. Stop there. You start working from there. So I cannot say anything is better than the other. Just for you to also understand yourself that I can say that for what I've learned so far, there are people who are very good at being employed and there are people who are very good at business. So both because I remember you get employed and you are more aggressive sometimes with bonus and all of that. You might end up getting yourself fired sometimes when you get employed. Unatumana sana na you have to understand yourself, your character, and then if your nature has gotten you to something, give you a kind of a manner, try to determine your stuff. But if you are sure that you can work from absorbance and contribute, and then you have what it takes, for example, finances to understand what organization you're working with, and then you have connections, you can build connections and get into it.
Okay, thank you, Cleopas. And then there is a pressure of wanting to make money and be independent in terms of supporting yourself. For example, yeah, some students here in campus, yeah, they have ventured in online writing. What is your suggestion on ways we can make extra cash and use appropriately what we have?
Okay,
Yeah, give us your take on that.
okay. Doing writing, I also did writing in university. Uh, what I can say about writing is an adventure, but you have to also balance between your social life because from what I face all the time, some people I would like to say sometimes balancing your social life and your writing work are two different things. And then time to write creativity, but if you can balance your writing and then also both in school, it's okay. But also it doesn't only mean that writing is the only thing that you can do while still in campus. We have other businesses that can be done when you are still in campus, in which case it costs. Okay, I can just give an example. You know these online shops like Kinimo, Jumia, Jumbo Shop, all those shops need vendors. And at times, you just when you registered in those shops, uh, okay, they have their own rules, so you have to go there, text them, they give you their own rules, and then you agree. There's a contract, but an online contract just means you work until you're done. And then you hear their terms and conditions. If you have money in cash and you're still in campus, and you can have somebody who can deliver for you products in their warehouses, you can still do it at the comfort of your of school or somewhere that you're comfortable with. Rather than because when I compare that hustle plan to because remember in writing you can even a biology topic and then you are supposed to be against the way you do work. Okay, so you just do what you are supposed to do. But then you will need to remember starting down and at the end of this role you have to go around the day to all the same day of an engineering course. So sometimes like me when I was doing it, I used getting to balance with an issue and I was very tired in the end. But then if you're doing it and since you don't have a source of income, if you are like if you already come and you're employed to buy, it's just like so for you it's working for you, for you it's better.
Okay, thank you for your advice. Vane, to Vane, we have been having challenges with debt management.
Yes.
For instance, yeah, for instance, these loans, the HELB loans, some students have Fuliza and this getting loans from small financial organizations. For example, Tala, uh, and then students end up uh, wasting that they really can't give account. So, what is your advice concerning debt management within campus and even outside campus?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say personally, I would not advise someone to take a loan from Tala or um, branch because when you sit down and do your math, if someone is going to give you a loan for what are usually the rate 30%, it doesn't make any economic sense to you as the person who's going to pay it back. As Cleopas has stated before, there are jobs you can do while you're in campus. Personally, I did online writing for a long time, and the good thing is with online writing, it is hectic, but when you get to get that balance of your studies, your social life, you can say I am doing five pages in a week. You know, five pa- you tell that person I only do 5 pages in a week so that you can balance your studies. You can also have your social life. If you do 5 pages in a week, you have 1,500 at the bare minimum, yeah. So that should be, instead of you accruing interest on money you don't have and you don't even know how you're going to get it back, find sources of income. Try, if you know how to do card design, look for a mentor, an engineer, so that you can be doing for them the designs. They approve, they check them, they approve, you get your money. That is what I think personally. That is my mantra when it comes to debt. Help is okay. Help is okay because it is helping you to advance yourself, education wise, career wise. Help is very much okay. But when you get it, also know what to do with it. So you can get help and party with it, all of it, or buy a new phone, or you can get help and start use it to start a small business, like set up a photocopying shop. You know, like we have to get our minds out of the we want easy money. Whatever money we want, we have to work for it. There's no one who's going to give you money so easily unless there are strings attached to it, like a 30% interest in a month. I don't know. I think it's roughly around that percentage. So when before you, unless it is utterly impossible for you to have money, you rather even ask your friends, because these people will start again to embarrass you, calling your contacts. You know what they do? They call your contacts saying you have not paid. Find other means of getting money, online writing, set up a photocopy shop. You know, like do things using your brain and your skills and your talents as well, instead of getting money from these organizations that have strings attached to them.
Okay, thank you for your advice. And then, did you engage in any extracurriculum activities?
Well, in campus, sports wise no, but when I was in fourth year, I was in the engineering student association's body. I served as the social affairs and sports secretary for, yeah, for 2017-2018 academic year. So that's what I did basically. Yeah.
Tell us how you are able to balance between the two, academics and the sports.
I think for me it's always when if so- actually the thing that pushed me into getting into ESA wasn't that I wanted to be there, because for the entire 3 years I had been in campus, there were no activities. All the activities were usually just for men, and that really irked me. I was like, why? Why is it that every time I'm going to cheer for a sport, it's always for men? So that I had a legit reason why I wanted to be in ESA, and to be in that particular position where I can change. Because for 3 years we used to have these games, guys go to the field, they're playing against other disciplines or other departments, we are just cheering. And I thought to myself, like, it doesn't make sense if if the School of Engineering has both genders, where these games are only male centered, they're male dominant. So I got into ESA because I wanted to make a change to it. So because I had a legitimate reason, like I wanted to change, which eventually I did, and I'm so proud of myself. It's continuing up to now. I got I got to get this balance. And at that time I was actually on my internship, on my attachment. I was serving as the social affairs secretary, and the first semester I was also in school. But when you get when you know how to balance and you have your social life, definitely you have to have a social life when you're in campus. When you I for me, if I put my mind into something, if I put my mind into something, it's so easy for me because like that time I knew that I knew that I knew that it's very fourth year is such a difficult year if you don't get to strike a balance between everything that you're doing and to prioritize what you want to be number one, what you want to be number two, you will actually fail in your studies as you excel in every other thing. So for me, I think what made me strike that balance is because I I hate failure. I will not lie, I hate failing. So I will always put my best foot forward in everything, even if it means I have to transnight to strike that balance. The my fear for knowing that if I don't do this, I will fail is the thing that drove me to actually try to strike a balance with everything that I was doing at that time.
Okay, Vane, thank you for that. We are proud of you because of the change that you brought. Yeah. It helps us now. Cleopas, you're still here.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, rumors has it that at one point you were engaged in politics. Is it true?
Yes, it's true.
How was it?
Okay, I can remember that was in my second year. I wanted to become a
Mm-hmm.
person full of economics, and
Mm-hmm.
I can say politics really. I can say it affected me. It affected my academics. That's one. But then again, it
Mm-hmm.
opened up. One of the strengths that I have currently is the courage to have to talk in front of people. Because I remember
Mm-hmm.
I lost the election, and then now the challenge I had was getting people persuading that they are fair. And yes, as a journalist, it also has me so when it knocked on your door, sometimes the questioning could really be difficult. Like for me, I remember the following semester that was 2022. I only attended like a number of official lessons, and yeah, like the accountable lessons that I had attended, like really exam. So I paid and it affected me until the time again. So I didn't have a balance between politics and academics. And then two, the failure that I had previously made dawned on me. And when you fail, sometimes you are not, you don't have much things to talk about other than talking about. They might really drain you down. So I got drained at that time, and it took some time, and a few friends were there to get me back normal. So it took some time. So what I can say is you, okay, if I'm talking to first year, second year, third year, you can try to involve yourself. Politics is actually very easy because you get to interact with other people, create friendship connections here and there, you get respect. But the important that you can push your own agenda sometimes even their personal. But again, if you don't have the balance, it might be difficult. So it's all about really making a choice. Which side are you going to be? Whether you study politics, but you have to decide to join politics.
Okay. 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 Cleopas. Um, anyone with any question? We are only taking 2 questions. Anyone with a question?
Hello, Susan.
Hello.
Yeah, I have a question for Cleopas.
Okay.
Um, uh, okay, being in business, I know, let's say when you're starting your business, you kind of have to find like you're trying to get new clients, which means like sometimes you have to find a way in which you can compete favorably.
Yes.
And maybe part of that, maybe sometimes is usually to reduce to reduce your price, especially maybe if you're offering a service, right?
Yes.
So that you can compete favorably. So, like, does it get to a point where now you say now I'm good enough, I will not reduce my price, and you stick to that? And when do you know maybe when that time has come? Because sometimes, when you're starting business, you're too afraid maybe to lose clients, and then at the same time you're trying not to work so much that you're working so hard, but you're not really getting revenue back for the work that you're doing.
Okay, what I can say in that actually that is that it's nice to lower your prices to get new clients, of course. But remember, it has a cost to it, generally. Because as a reduced cost, that means you have to work more harder. And then secondly, you are being sometimes, that's why I told you, and when you can reach and decide that this is where I'm going to, it's about getting new clients. Because sometimes you get that you have already negotiated a certain price with a client. The moment you increase that price, the client is going to go away. So at first you have to remember you have to keep your word in business. The moment you tell somebody this is what I'm going to pay to you at this price, that is it. And it might last until, let's say, even after 6 months, then you tell him, okay, and there's no way you can change your price immediately. You have to tell the client to feel like, okay, for next month, I'm going to increase this price a bit. And most of the time, you need those clients either to go back where they were. But the moment you get these clients to you to term the price, ensure that you give them something extra, like a good customer service, so that in any case, if they consider that you've gone back to the previous price or the price are constant to whatever the others are selling at the same price, then it means that you have the added advantage of the customer service. But if you are not, and let's say you are not good in that way, you are not doing, some people they are not very good in certain things. And you might get that you're not very good in your customer service as much as you have very good business in you. So if you're not very good at that, sometimes when you get new clients, the moment you start in the business at low prices, as you move forward, you get a new client, you try to push her or him a higher price rather than for what you always do. And it's weird because the moment what you want in the business is to make a higher revenue. So the moment you continue reducing your prices, automatically it means you are continuing losing, so you increase over time. Until you reach at a point whereby now you're sure either you are at par with all the others or you are comfortable with the revenue that is coming in. So the moment these lower ones again ikifika mahali they say that they want to leave, well and good, the other ones will continue staying with you and they pay you according to what you. Yes, that's what I can say.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Cleopas. Because of time, we will only take that one question. The other one, you keep them pending. We'll still answer them at the end of the session. Now, to Vane, some students have no idea where to start, especially the engineering students. Considering you are a fresh graduate and already practicing your career, kindly highlight to us briefly what engineering students should expect after graduating, the steps to follow, and the necessary requirements for one to be at the top of the engineering hierarchy.
Students, first of all, I would advise if anyone has a chance and you're conflicted what field you want to be in, like I know for elect, like KD, the life, if you have a chance when you're in a year, 4 years, look for attachments in different places and then see where you fit in. See where you like it's not as able to wake up and go to work. That's one important thing. Like when you're going for an attachment, if you already know where you from class, then go out and start in that field. But if you don't know, this year you can say I'm going for heavy, next year you say I'm going for light, and then after that now you can see, okay, where are my skills, or where am I best suited to be in. So first, make sure that when you're looking for an attachment, I know it's usually hard, by the way, to get an attachment. It's hard, but if you, for me, what I usually say is, you'd rather struggle in the beginning than realizing that when you're in your 40s, whatever you have been doing is not giving you joy. That is not something you want. So when you're looking for attachment, just do that. Look for different areas, sample them. Then now, come and sit down and see where does your heart want you to be in. The next thing is, when you're in campus, I know most universities don't teach softwares. At least I know for UN as we are in school. So when you're in campus, make a point, because that's the only time you have as much time as you have. Because when you come out, no one is going to be willing to teach you softwares like AutoCAD. Like for us, we were engineers, we need to know AutoCAD, we need to know Procon. There are so many. So when you have that time, look for, like, you can go online. For people who are, when you wanna summer online, you can go online. Or look for like someone, an alumni, friend who has finished and knows those softwares, to take you through this thing and to guide you. So that's the next thing, because out here, no one wants to employ you if they know they're going to be paying you, and at the end of the day they want to teach you the basics of what engineering is like. They usually want you to come at least with some basic knowledge of a software. The other thing is, as much as the Kenyan system is a lot of theory, it's actually not the principle. Like I remember when I was in campus, when we were graduating, we were told that now, since you have graduated, all this was just theory. Forget all this theory and then go back to the real world. That is where you're going to learn. Let no one lie to you that you're just learning theory. Engineering is about principles. These principles are important. You will go to the field. You need to understand why something is happening. Not just doing it, because there has to be a difference between you and an engineer. And for instance, in my case, since I'm in the engineering field, a laborer or a welder. A welder knows how to weld, doesn't know why they're welding. You need to know why this way and why not that way. Okay. So the principles are very important. As much as you might think people will tell you it is theory, but when you come out here, that theory is what you're going to, like a laborer, when you are going to tell someone, oh, don't do that, what are you going to tell them? Why not do that? You have to explain to them that this is why you're not supposed to do this. That is one of the main, like personally for me, on my attachment, when I was on attachment on Karumba Road, the one engineer, he was a DRE then, I am engineer. So I was with my classmates on that project, and when your classmates, so you're just walking around, like mnafunzana vitu, so that's what we used to do. And then when we go somewhere, except like the lead inspector tells us, oh, we face a section somewhere, and then you come and report to it. So when you go to that section, with my classmate was there, the laborer wanamwambia, engineer umekuja, blah blah blah. Then now, me, we're in the same class, wataniita mrembo. So I used to be really big, and I went to this engineer and I was like, why is it so hard for people to understand that even ladies can be engineers? And he told me one thing that is always stick to me. He was like, the one thing you need to learn is know your people, so that next time you go explaining to them, actually, like, you have to of course for women, you have to prove to them that you know what you're doing. So he told me principles are very important. Of course, even for the male gender, I'm not saying, but for women you have to work extra hard to prove that you deserve to be where you are. So let me tell you, principles are very important. This is engineering. This is not art. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing and the repercussions of not doing that thing. Sawa. The other thing is there are so many professions. There are so many professionals and professional bodies. Get a mentor. Get a mentor. Get someone who's going to guide you. Like in the thing with engineering, it's so dynamic. There's new things every day, new challenges. Like someone who was there in the 80s, the challenges that are facing are different from people who are there in the 90s, the 10s, and now. So get you a mentor to hold your hand and guide you and tell you, oh, this is how this is supposed to be done. That's why I usually tell students while in university, if you can get a chance to join a professional body while you're still a student, that will be the best thing you'll ever do to yourself and your career, because they will guide you. They will tell you, oh, Vane, you feel conflicted. Okay, this field is about this, because then they have experience. This is about this. So make sure you have a mentor. And let me tell you, when you socialize with your friends, at the back of your mind, think, because this your friends at the end of in the next 4 or 5 years are going to be your social capital. Social capital is what we're now calling connections, and it is very important. Nowadays, your social circle, it is everything. Like Cleopas amewambia, like you might not have money, but when you have connection, that is your social capital. That is going to put you into places you didn't. So make sure you have a mentor and interact with, go around putting people in your circle who you know in the 2 3 years, that capital is it's like an investment. Investing in someone. In 3 years you want interest in your investment back. That is social capital.
Tunaenda.
Okay, Vane, thank you so much. I'm sure the ladies who are here, we are so challenged. And going back to connection, tell us the secret. It seems you really made connections while in campus. Tell us what we should do.
Uh, Actually, I personally I joined AAK, Architectural Association of Kenya, Engineers Chapter. They take all the disciplines of engineering, civil, mechanical, electrical, every engineer, which is basically every engineer in the built environment, which is every engineering discipline. So I joined it when I was third year, I think third year, and from the, as I said earlier, we used to have, okay, even now we have meetings. We have meetings every month, once a month, every month we usually have meetings. So that time I joined when I was in third year because I was looking for an attachment, and my friend was in AIK was like, oh, if you join, there are many engineers in that field, they can help you with that. So my sole intention, I would say, I was selfish at that point because I was actually going there so that I could get an attachment. But at the end of the day, it's even yielded many fruits that I didn't even think about. So when I joined in Sabia, just before we, like I think 2 months before we went on break, so I went to look for an attachment, and I was, because these are engineers, very seasoned engineers. Like when you hear them speak about challenges, about solutions, like you're just in awe. Because when you get someone, when you're in school and like when they talk of basic things with engineering knowledge, you are just in awe. I joined with like 3 of my friends. So it wasn't actually My intention was not like to go there to find mentors or anything. I just wanted to go there and state, oh, I'm looking for an attachment down. So that's my first route to connections. So that okay, that year they didn't, because I had not connected with as many engineers in the chapter. They didn't know me. So that's why I camped at Kura. Also persistent. I camped for so many days. The design engineer was like, okay, I will just give you that later. Anyway, so that was the first route. But then when I was in fourth year, I was in ESA, and ESA, it opens you up to, like, you interact with so many people because you're going around looking for sponsorship. You're going to Kenya, you're going to Kura, you're going to these big organizations where you are the face of ESA. So through that, through my, like, the many days of trekking to look for sponsorship for SI events, I was able to, like, amass a couple of networks here and there. And then still I was in AAK, and I was very, very actively involved because they had interesting activities they were doing. They had industrial visits, they had talk. So I started getting involved. Like, they would tell me, oh, Vane, you can help us plan. You can go to, while I was in ESA, you can talk to the principal. We need a space in your end, things like that. So that's how I got, like, I was visible in AK. Then these organizations out here, it's ESA who exposed me to them. So by the time I was in in need of an internship, they knew me, and, like, they could actually remember, oh, you're the girl who always is organizing events, social media, those things. So actually, when you join professional bodies, don't don't just go and sit. Be involved, because of course there are many people there. You are like, you are five that year when I graduated. I think we were five students, but because I was actively involved, they used to have visits everywhere, SGR, like going to these projects, new projects and interesting projects that are going on. So I used to be very actively involved in organizing those events, in handling their social media. So it was easy for me, for them to recognize, oh, Vane, we know you, we have seen you, we have seen what you've been doing. So it was easy for me. So what I'm trying to say is, when you get into a professional body, don't just, I'm not telling you that once you get in there, you're going to get connections instantly. You have to go the extra mile. Like, I know, for instance, IK, through AAK, I got to IK, where I got to, I'm a coordinator from Nyamira County. But you have to be visible, because I was visible in AAK, I was fronted to IK. And that is how it works. You don't just join and sit and wait for a miracle to happen. No, you have to earn it. You have to move. You have to keep moving. You have to remind them that you exist. You are there. They will always remember you. So that's what I did.
Kevin, thank you so much. We are really challenged, motivated. Yeah, engineers in this forum, I'm sure you are enlightened. You ought to join those professional bodies and um, and go that extra mile for you, in order for you to be visible. Now to Cleopas, um, we all know that relationship is a fundamental key in human life. There have been many controversial issues on when to start relationship. In your own perspective, do you believe romance in campus is meant to last, or just having fun in the name of love?
Okay, for me, what I can say is, sometimes, okay, for me, my relationship actually lasted through campus. So what I can say is, relationships are good, but know the basis under which you are having that relationship, and what are your plans. The two of you, not involving any other person, just the two of you. Because sometimes in campus people are reckless. Sometimes you overindulge yourself in without there's a line you are not supposed to cross as much as yes you are supposed to have a social life. That one I can say that sometimes it's very good for you to have a social life. Have your girlfriend, have your boyfriend, but then draw a line. The basis of the relationship is what is important, rather than having it or not having it. But what I believe is that person has to have a relationship if you want. Yeah. And in terms of relationship, that's what I do. Yes, Sue?
Okay, Cleopas, thank you. And to you, Vane, what do you think?
Um, I agree by the way with Cleopas because by the time you're in campus, you're a mature human being. You know what is right for you. Uh, Personally, my relationships did not last through campus, but as long as you guys know what I would just want to tell you, if you are two people, learn to not be codependent, learn to be independent because sometimes in campus you get stuck into someone else's life that you forget about yourself, your ambitions, your visions. Just be in a relationship but be your own person. Be independent. Yeah, but you can have a relationship. You can enjoy at the end of the day, for instance, uh, engineering is 5 years or 6 years in some cases. These are the people who you are going to be seeing every other day. These are the people you're going to be interacting with every other day. So at some point, there are people you're going to catch feelings for, and it's normal. It's okay. Like you guys, I would say what you need to learn is they might not last the whole 5 6 years, but at least you experience something like an experience with these people or one person. At the end of the day, you cannot control how the universe stands. Things might work out, things might not work out, but then move. But have a social life in campus. That is very important.
Okay, thank you for your counsel, Jean. If you have any question, you can just type at the chat windows there. And the last question, Jovin, how do you balance your ambition, your career, and also your relationship right now as a woman and also as an engineer?
Um, Actually, it's it's very hard to say the least because when you're working, for instance, like my case right now, when I'm in the expressway, I am expected to work night shift sometimes, and like if you have that other your other half, and they do not understand that this is a job, you're going to work on night shift, you have to go, you have to get your bills paid, it's going to like put a strain on your relationship. But for me personally, I have always had a plan for like I had at 20, my life plan at 21, at 23, at 25. So that's usually what guides me. And I'm not telling anyone to have that because some people feel it's a lot of pressure to have like some things you need to achieve by what. For me, that's work. That's what works because I'm a person who, when I know what I intend to achieve, I will, when I write it down, I will work more towards it. Like I don't like winging it. I love knowing that, oh, you have a target. You have a target in the next 2 years. You need to have done this and this. So that's what drives my ambition. Like I know in the next 2 years, I'm working towards my registration, and I need to be somewhere. I need to be working for this. particular organization, or this particular organization have done this and this. So that's what is guiding me. Like I have life plan for maybe until I'm 30. And then the next, like, so that's what guides my ambition. Balancing my ambition and career is easy because I center everything that comes to my career. Like every ambition I have is 90% of it is towards, or 80% is towards my career progression. And the 20% I again do not recommend, this is not foolproof, is other things. Like for me, I feel that when I put my mind into something, I tend to have a tendency of forgetting other things. Like if I say I'm, I'm working on this particular project, my head will be so much into the project that I sometimes might forget that I have I have someone I need to think about. Which again, as I said, you have to find someone but still be yourself. So the good thing with me is, for me right now, I'm dating someone who's in the engineering field, and he understands. He knows that of course I'm working towards being a PE in the next 2 years, and he understands the pressure, so it's not as hard uh, balancing that because he's also in the engineering field. The only thing inakwanga a little bit is just like I have to go night shift here and there, but that's also a job thing, which is not such a big deal. So it hasn't been as hard when it comes to balancing it because he's in the same field. So it's been okay. But the ambition bit is what usually gives me a lot of pressure because, as I said, like when I set my life plan, I will sit and think of something like, oh, I'm lagging behind, and then I start like the pressure starts building, and now I get like my entire mind is focused on achieving this one thing, and I forget that, oh, I need to like have a social life somehow. But I try.
Okay, thank you so much, Vane. And anyone with a question?
Yes, I have one. I have a question for Vane. You've mentioned that you guys usually have, I think, monthly meetings with AAK. So
Yeah.
I just, yeah, true.
Sorry.
I just, you mentioned that you usually have monthly meetings in AAK.
Yes.
Okay, so I recently applied to join AAK with a friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, currently I've not received my application, maybe response, but he was accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been over a month and we've not had anything. So we are wondering, are we not part of the inner circle, or what does it take?
No, actually, it's very easy. If you applied and your friend got accepted, he got the email.
Yeah, he got it.
Okay, I can inquire on your behalf, but because you're a student, it usually doesn't take a lot of things to validate your credentials, so that is easy. I can inquire on your behalf and let you know, but
Okay,
it just takes a few weeks. I think 2 weeks.
all right, that would be very helpful.
Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Anyone else with a question? Okay, since there are no more questions, I think we can end the meeting here.
I think we can take comments.
Um,
Yeah, anyone who would like to appreciate maybe our guests, any comment, how the session was.
Hey, Gregory.
Hello.
Yeah, okay. I hope I'm audible. Okay, so
yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So to our guests, that is Nancy and Cleopas, I would want to thank you guys. You're so passionate about what you do. That is what I can note from our interaction on this webinar. And getting to know you, interact, hear from you, honestly, it's a privilege. You guys are ahead of us, and we are learning a lot in terms of how to get on with it even after we finish. So we are humbled by your time, the time you've given us, your kujitolea kuja kuattend the webinar. So thanks a lot, you guys. Mbarikiwe.
All right.
And also thank you for everyone who joined during this webinar today. And special thanks to our guests, Nancy Vane and Cleopas. We have really learned a lot. I'm sure guys here have been enlightened personally. I've been it is a challenge. Nancy, you have challenged me. Yeah, like I now know where to go after graduating. I know I should not take a lot of bills that unnecessary. Thank you so much for having this time to come and share with us. We thank you so much.
All right. I have a request to our guests. Um, just in case, this is an opportunity to network also for us. So yeah, I can see Kilengo is asking, do they mind giving us their contact? So are you guys comfortable with, let's say, giving us your contacts, that maybe somebody who feels like they did not say something here, but maybe they had a question that maybe they feel they can pose to you later personally. Maybe can you share your contacts with us, or am I allowed to share the contacts with them at the end of this meeting?
Sure, sure. You can share.
Yes, Cleopas.
Okay, sure, you can share.
All right, awesome. So Ronnie, I think you can end for us. So thank you guys, thank you so much, the guests who have attended, and the guests. It's been a privilege having you with us today. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Okay.
Have a good night.
You
Yeah, we have ended, so you can leave at your own discretion.
Thank you so much.
All right.